We are back with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I'm gonna try my luck with an experiment before we jump into the off season. And actually, I can't because I was gonna try and run a deal, but apparently the deal I was gonna try and run can't happen now. I mean, it may be able to happen once we move into the once we officially move into the off season, but as of right now, we can't. But as you guys saw, I did decide to fire the entire coaching staff and make that switch. I don't know if it was the right decision. I don't know if it was the wrong decision. All I know is, as far as, well, the only person I was tempted to keep was Todd Bowles. But if I was going to keep Todd Bowles, I was going to fire him. I was going to give him a year and then fire him at the end of the year. I would fire him at the end of the year. Because I just don't really have when you're going through a rebuild, in my opinion, the last thing, even though the best thing is consistency, in my opinion, the one thing that most people don't have is security when it comes to the coaching staff. I mean, I'm tempted to go with a different approach, but like going with an offensive coordinator as the head coach instead of an actual head coach. But I think I'm going to go with Mike Vrabel as the new head coach. West Coast zone run and 3-4 under. I mean, I could bring back Todd Bowles as the offensive coordinator. But that's kind of a. But would that not kind of be a slap in the face? Shane Steichen. Um, West Coast zone run. Let's check our defense first. What do we need? 3-4 under. Scott Anderson. My question is, how much should I actually be paying attention to that? Like that everybody's things are copacetic. The plays are copacetic, or schemes are copacetic. I feel like if I sign this guy, then this is the guy that they released in Tennessee. I think I'm gonna pick Clyde Holland instead. So we got zone run, West Coast zone run, West Coast zone run, West Coast zone run, West Coast zone run. Um, I actually hired Kevin O'Connell as our offensive coordinator. So let's see how well that goes. Let's get the talent tree going. And let's hope I didn't make a boneheaded decision. One of the plans were one of the plans were to basically try and trade Mike Evans before the off season as a way to avoid, as a way to avoid having to get out, as a way to avoid having to risk losing him. But unfortunately, I lost that because of just where we're at. And I basically looked at it from the perspective of with how deep the wide receiver core and the quarterback class is, that maybe getting a wide receiver in the draft, if I can get another first round pick, would not be the worst thing in the world to do. Because right now we are projected at pick number 4, and they project us to get a middle linebacker. I don't know that we need a middle linebacker, but I don't think we're. I don't know how desperate we are for a middle linebacker, but I don't think we are in desperate need for a middle linebacker. Basically, the reason why I'm second guessing Mike Evans is he's on the wrong side of 30. I mean, I guess if Zaven Collins didn't re-sign, but he's on a rookie contract, so that's a positive thing that we don't have to worry about. But the problem is both of our middle linebackers are. So maybe we do. Yeah, Baker's gonna go. Baker's gonna be off. All right, all right, all right. We'll. I don't hate this contract, to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't hate that contract, to be honest with you. It's only a year. I don't hate it. I want to give him a contract offer though, where um, I can franchise tag him because I think franchise tagging Mike Evans for a year would not be the worst idea. Okay, maybe it was the worst idea because now we can't sign any free agents. Uh, uh, if you were in my position, would you have re-signed Mike Evans or would you have let him go to free agency? Let me know down in the comment section below. Let me know down in the comment section below. I mean, how do you tell me per game not signed if we're in the off season? So I don't know if I made the right decision or not, but at the same time, at the same time, we can always try and trade him during the off season now because he's re-signed for team salaries. That's what I was looking for. How often do you try and take advantage of the ability to restructure contracts? How often do you take advantage of the ability to restructure contracts to try and gain yourself some more window working room when it comes to payroll, or is that just me? And also, if it is just me, is it a bad thing to do more than a good thing to do? I'm not really sure. Trade Center. I mean, honestly, I don't know how much of an intention I have of re-signing him. So let's. Who am I kidding? Let's try and get the 8th overall pick instead. Third overall, 19th overall. $45 million in debt? Holy shit. Would New England do the trade? 14th overall. I gotta sweeten the pot a little bit, though. I think I have. Let's throw them a fifth round pick. Fourth round pick? Close, but I think I gotta. I think I gotta go somewhere else. Even though I would say New England is probably the ideal place to go, considering how much money they have. And I'm gonna say that Houston would probably not do that trade. I don't think Minnesota would be able to afford it. I don't really want to trade at King's Ransom, to be honest with you. I don't really want to trade at King's Ransom, to be honest with you, to get the first overall pick. To be honest, I don't really want to trade a King's Ransom to get the first overall pick. I feel like I know what I need to trade, but I don't want to, and I'm also not going to take less than. I'm also not going to take less than a first round pick. You know what I mean? I'm also not going to take less than a first round pick. So there's that. They can't do the trade. Baltimore can't. Los Angeles can't. So let's actually, before we go with the Bears again, let's go through and see who can actually trade with me. Is it just the Bears, New England, and another team, or is it other teams too? Because I am getting an idea that I could check out the O line, go for a late round pick, check out the O line, and try and improve the other defensive spectrums before, like, trade Mike Evans for first and try and get another player with that trade. Because we need a right tackle. We could use a tight end. I mean, somebody would probably say we could use a wide receiver. Quarterback, halfback. I mean, I would like to help the defense, though. If I could. I would like to help the defense, though. And that's also the reason why I'm not sure that I want to go with a quarterback in this year's draft, because I don't know that going with a quarterback in this year's draft without having a backup plan is the ideal situation, because we're not a quarterback away. You know what I mean? We're not a quarterback away. We're not really the best team in the world, to be honest with you. And I'm also just realizing I could actually circle through the deals when I'm in the trade, but I'm thinking that getting rid of Mike Evans is ideal, especially with Chris Godwin also up for renewal next year. I just, yeah. So wait, let's scroll through, take a look around, see if there's anybody with. I don't think I can get I don't think I can get the Chargers close. They probably don't need him. Dolphins have the 7th overall pick. Well, I know Kyle Pitts is there. Um, let's just see. Left tackle. Cody Mock, I have no problem giving a little bit more time to as the left guard. We need a right guard. We need a right tackle. We need a right edge rusher. So pretty much anything with RE in it, we need. Or anything with an R in it, we need. Except right linebacker. We don't need a right linebacker. Can't afford him. So honestly, Atlanta's out. I don't think the Jets have a first round pick. I could be wrong. I don't think they have a first round pick that's willing to work with me. No. I don't think they do that trade. Um they wouldn't do that trade cuz they'd still be over cap. What about sheesh. I mean, taking on his contract for a year may not be the worst thing in the world, but at the same time, I don't know if it's ideal because part of the reason why I wanted to do this trade is to open up cap space to have maneuverability. But also, how much maneuverability do you have if you need 8 positions? How do you tell me that that's not going to work? How do you tell me that's not going to work? So the Lions are out. Packers are out. Uh, let's actually try and do the trade like I was doing with them. No. Meh. Jesus, their shit's worse than mine. Yeah, no, that's not even worth it. See, I don't think the Pets would do it for because they wouldn't do it straight up. So I don't think they'd do it with me adding people in. But there was somebody down here that could afford him. Houston, but I think Houston actually has a second overall pick. Yeah, no, they got the first. They got the 25th. Trivia, Gibson, Darnell Wright, Nate Davis. How about this, Chicago? How about this? I'll throw you a fifth round pick. I'll throw you a fourth round pick. I'll throw you a third round pick next year. I totally forgot. I totally clicked the wrong button. Right, fine. How about Travis Gibson? How about now I give you a fourth round pick. Doesn't even feel like it goes up. It doesn't even feel like it goes up. I don't feel like I should be trading him for anything but a first round pick though, if I'm dealing it. You know, I just don't feel like I should be dealing him for anything other than a first round pick. Minka Fitzpatrick. Oh, so close. So close. And honestly, I think I'm going to write down what I need. Maybe just get a punter off of free agency and a quarterback, and then get everybody else in the draft. Because I'm thinking that. Seriously, game? Seriously? Because I'm thinking that I may need more flexibility than what the game is giving me, or than what I have in this. But I do have another idea. I do have another idea. They don't have a kicker either. They're not really giving me much flexibility here. Yeah, fuck it. I'm done. So I'm going to try and go with this. First pick of the second round. The first pick of the second round. They don't exactly have a lot to choose from here either. Flexibility is not my middle name. Give me Jordan Addison, 2 seconds, and Lewis Klein for Mike Evans. How about I feel like I'm underselling Mike Evans, but at the same time I'm doing it for salary dump purposes. So at the same time I might be underselling him, but that's kind of the point. But how about another fourth? How about another draft pick? I honestly don't know if I made the right decision, but I think I made the decision that is best for the team. Because we were not going to win with Mike Evans. I was not going to re sign Mike Evans, so at least now we have somebody to occupy a spot in on defense, as Lewis Klein is better than what we had. Lewis Klein is better than what we had. So there's that. Right. edge, right tackle, tight end, kicker. Also, how much do you pay attention to fullbacks? Is a fullback something that you actually pay attention to, or is a fullback something that you don't really care about? Center, halfback, wideout. I did write down everything that we needed, but we're gonna try and burn through the rest of it relatively quick because basically this is just gonna be the off season, and I highly doubt I'm gonna get to anything. Well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We have our free safety accounted for. All I really wanted to do with this is get us a kicker, and all I wanted to do with this is get us a kicker and maybe a quarterback. Get us somebody who can be a placeholder because I'm drafting a quarterback. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm drafting a quarterback. I mean, Ryan Tannehill would be perfect, but because I hate to tell Britt Baker, but I'm not going for Baker. But I think maybe let's shift. Because honestly, what I could also do is wait till the off season when payroll adjusts and go for somebody there when payroll adjusts. Because right now, Ryan Jensen, our center, is playing right guard, which is actually pretty odd to me. I would love to go for Jadavian Clowney, but honestly, Jadavian Clowney might be out of our price range. To be honest, a lot of people are out of our price range, but that's just me. I know I mentioned this. I know I mentioned this the last time, but how do you best formulate a rebuild when you're coming through with a rebuild? How do you best formulate a rebuild for your team? Do you normally go like is there a specific way you normally go with it? Do you normally trade your expiring contracts? I know I mentioned this in the last time, but let me know down in the comment section below how you normally do a rebuild when you're playing Madden and offer me some advice because I am still learning how to do a rebuild and the best formulate a rebuild. I'm not really sure. Nobody signed back with us, but Mike Williams went to Houston, Antonio Winfield went to Detroit, Keenan Allen, or Josh Allen, sorry. Josh Allen signed, Darnell Mooney signed. The one thing I can hope for is the one thing I can hope for is that the one thing I can hope for is that we have a little bit more cap space next year. Minnesota signed up Baker Mayfield, which is ironic because the guy I traded Mike Evans to is Minnesota. None of our targets signed. Um, I mean, I want to go for a different halfback, but I also don't want to give up on Rashid White yet. But that's just me. I mean, maybe focus on maybe we should focus on one thing at a time. This is our first off season after all. Some of our guys signed. Let's see where we're projected with the. They project us picking a cornerback. I don't know if cornerback is ideal, and I also don't know if Caleb Williams, if these guys, Caleb, Marvin, or I mean, I know ideally, again, I might not be in a position to be picking somebody like that because we are not a quarterback away. So picking a star quarterback may not make a whole lot of sense. But can you pass up a franchise quarterback if you're given the opportunity to pick a franchise quarterback, even if it still takes you a year? Like if you're given the opportunity, do you pass it up? I guess is what I'm saying. But we got new signings. Amari Cooper signed with the Colts. That's a big signing for the Colts. Keenan Allen signed with Houston. That's another big signing for Houston. Big signing for Minnesota. I mean, we don't have a lot of money to play with, so I don't really know if I should keep going. But somebody signed. We got our right guard. Yeah, we got our right guard, so that's good. I mean, we'd have to play too much with the salary cap to go for Mr. to go for Mr. What's his name? Ryan Tannehill. So I think I'm going to I think what I'm going to do is wait and maybe sign a backup quarterback off of free agency. But I think with what salary cap we have left, maybe I will try and sign a backup for another position that we may lose in the off season. How frequently do you guys actually sign players that could fill other roles, like role players? Or is it only if you have the salary cap to be able to sign them that you actually give them the opportunity to sign? Like in my position, would you be signing players like this? And I'm actually just realizing I probably needed a defensive tackle anyway, so it's probably good that I go for one. unfortunately, oh wait, I was gonna say unfortunately, I think our guys might have signed, but no, they did not. But we are closing in on the draft, and actually, based on timing, we're probably just gonna do the draft this year. I mean, we're probably just gonna do the draft and then call it before the season, and we'll use episode 3 as the season. So let's see. So we got our right guard, defensive tackle, right end, and kicker. We have $830,000 left. Um, Easton Stick. YouTube star Kurt Benekirk, or Kurt Benkirk. Ben Kurt. Sorry, Ben Kurt. But I think with the payroll we have, it would be best to spend it on the draft as opposed to spending it on free agency. And also, before the draft, we should adjust our lineup so we know that our lineup is there. Before we do this, let me adjust the lineup, take a look at the lineup, and see what happens. We still need a right tackle. I'm still giving, like I said, I'm still giving Cody Mock the opportunity to work. Rashid White might be somebody I need to get rid of, though. Right edge, kicker. I really don't. I mean, unless we're losing one of our cornerbacks, I don't really think we need to invest in a cornerback. Like, I think there's other places that we need to invest in and to be worried about. I didn't write down right guard. That's the problem. I mean, I know that I know that I know that they're just offering suggestions. They're not really offering like, oh, you have to go with this. You'd be crazy to not go with this. You know what I mean? I know they're just offering suggestions more than anything else, but I usually try and not abide by their suggestions, but go with their suggestions. If that makes sense, because I feel like I don't know enough to not go with their suggestions, if that makes sense. How often do you actually pay attention to, how often do you actually pay attention to that from the game? Drake May is still projected to be number one. They still project us to pick Kool-Aid McKinstry, which I don't think Kool-Aid McKinstry is a bad pick. I just don't know that getting Kool-Aid would be the right decision for us because I don't necessarily know that we need a cornerback at this very moment and that we shouldn't be using the 4th overall pick for something that we need a little bit more, that we're in more of a dire need of, if that makes sense. Oh wait, did I pick at the? Did I look at the wrong one? No, I looked at the right one. Yeah, I looked at the right one. But as I said, I know that's just a suggestion. So let me know down in the comment section below what you guys believe. If you believe that, I mean, not what you believe, what you pay attention to. If you pay attention to the game's selection, I'm curious to see if they actually pick Drake May though. Do you pay attention to the game selection and use that, or do you know what your team needs and you base that off of what, and you go with what your team needs more than what the game suggests? Because even if I do lose one of our cornerbacks, yeah, they go with Drake May from. Um, yeah, Marvin Harrison is gone. Let's just see. Caleb Williams is actually gone. Bo Nix is projected to be a day 3 pick. JJ McCarthy is projected to be undrafted. I mean, do I go with Caleb Williams? I think it would be best not to. Because I think our team needs something more than just Caleb Williams. Like, I think it would be a mistake for me not to go with a right tackle right now, but at the same time, we're not a right tackle away. Actually, what might be the right idea is going with a wideout because with Chris Godwin's contract up, we're going to be screwed if we don't have someone in that position backing us up. So I think I'm going to go with Ikma, and he's got a hidden dev. So there we go, Ohio State. What a superstar this kid is. Holy shit. What a superstar this kid is. But let's see if the Commanders go with Caleb Williams like was projected. And yes, they actually did go with Caleb Williams like projected. So let's go forward to our second round pick because we got the second round pick we got from Minnesota for Mike Evans. We gotta go with it. We gotta go with the third. We have to. Hidden Dev! Pass protector Javion Cohen is up with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We also have the 4th overall pick, so let's just skip ahead 2 picks and go with the 4th overall pick. Um, I mean, I don't really know offhand what else we're in desperate need of as far as um excuse me, as far as that's concerned. So I think what we're going to do yeesh. I think what we're going to do is go for a quarterback. Quinn, I don't even want to try and pronounce his name because I know I'm going to pronounce it wrong, but Throw Power 96. That's crazy. Throw Power 96. That's absolutely crazy. How many draft picks do you guys usually go for? I usually go until the third round or fourth round. It really depends on how many picks I have. I know I have a crap ton of picks in the fourth round, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know that I necessarily want to go with I don't know that I necessarily want to go with the fourth round pick. Like go into the fourth round, I mean. So yeah. Everybody we pick can't be top stars. But as we just crossed over the 50-minute mark, I think I'm gonna pause. I think I'm gonna sim to the end of the draft and see what the draft results provide us for our first NFL draft, and then we will jump into signing someone as we are apparently $14.5 million in above the cap rope. Our first round pick, 77 overall. Second round pick, 72. Blake Watson, halfback, 70. Denzel Burke, cornerback, which I was actually going to go with a cornerback. And we got another hidden dev. There we go, baby. Mario Williams, wide receiver. Look at all the draft picks we got. Look at all the draft picks we got. Like, holy moly. Right edge, hidden dev. Is this so? Am I alone here, or do you guys go through and look at the hidden dev also, or look for hidden dev, see what the dev trait of your draft picks there are when the draft is over with? JoJo Earl, hidden dev in the 6th round. What a steal that's going to be for us. What a steal that's going to be for us. We got a hidden dev in the 6th round. I was also actually going to draft the fullback. Or did we draft the fullback? I also just going to point out our draft pick is not going to be a our everyday. That's just not going to be how it is. May actually let go of Trey Palmer and move some people up, but I may do that when I'm off camera. So let's advance to the next week and see what quarterbacks are still on free agency. As we are going into the new year with the same overall as we started last year with. Cordell Patterson, Rashad Penny. I know I'm looking at halfbacks, but I'm still thinking about trading Rashid White. Um, so do we go with Andy Dalton? See, this is one of the situations where I don't know if picking the right, I guess picking the archetype that fits your team's scheme is the right way to go or not. because I don't know like how much I should be paying attention to that, if that makes sense. So if you could let me know that down in the comment section, I would appreciate it. Which I'm actually wondering if it looks like the West Coast zone run was the best one we could do. Disguise 3-4, which I know there was somebody up there. Base 3-4, 3-4 under. I know there was somebody with a disguise 3-4 on free agency. Again, let me know down in the comment section how much you pay attention to that and the copacetic nature of that. But either way, that's it for this episode. If you want to see more, let me know down in the comment section if I should keep going and keep trying to learn the best way to rebuild a team in Madden, as I am a novice when it comes to this, and I'm trying to learn. With that being said, though, that is it from me, and I will see you in the next one.